Hi, and welcome to another LRCC Soundbite. Last week, I told you about one of Jesus' followers, a man called Paul, who travelled extensively to spread the news of Jesus to many different countries. We left Paul in a place called Philippi, where he was starting a brand new church. Now, while Paul and his friends were there, they did cause a bit of a stir for various reasons. On one occasion, they ended up in court, despite not having broken the law. But there were some businessmen who were upset because they'd lost the chance to make some money by exploiting a young slave girl that they owned. And they dragged Paul and his friend Silas to the court and started asking the court to do something about these troublemakers. To deal with this, the court had Paul and Silas whipped and put in jail. I can't imagine they were particularly joyful at all of this, but as they sat there on the floor with their feet chained to heavy blocks of wood, they prayed and they sang songs to God. And the other prisoners didn't stop them. They listened and they heard. And then suddenly there was an earthquake. Not just a small tremor, but a big one. It shook the jail to its foundations. All the doors sprung open. The chains fell off their feet. All the prisoners were loose. Outside, the head of the jail woke up. He looked and he saw all the doors open. This was a cruel world. Despite it not being his fault, he knew he would be executed painfully for allowing the prisoners to escape. So rather than suffer that painful end, he drew his sword and was about to end it all, and then he heard a voice. Paul was shouting to him from inside the jail. "Don't harm yourself. We're all still here." The jailer grabbed a torch and went inside, and sure enough, all the prisoners were there, including the most important ones that he'd been told mustn't get out, Paul and Silas. And you know what? That jailer was so struck by the fact that they hadn't just run away that he asked them, "What must I do to be like you?" They told him about Jesus. And then the jailer took them back to his own house. He looked after their cuts and their bruises that they'd got from the whipping. He gave them food and drink, and his whole family listened to what they had to say. And they believed what Paul was telling them, and they became followers of Jesus that very night. Paul and Silas had done the unexpected. The unthinkable, really. They'd prayed and worshipped God, and while doing that, God had opened the doors of the jail and removed their chains, and yet they sat right there and they stayed right there, keeping the other prisoners with them. But the result was equally unexpected. Those that were meant to keep them locked away listened to the message they'd got, and it changed their lives forever. Being a Christian changes your outlook on life. Things I used to think were important become less so. Things I used to do aren't on my to-do list anymore. Last week I talked a little bit about the choices we make and how I want to try and make choices that imitate the choices I think Jesus would make. It's the same thing, isn't it? How do we make real, tangible changes in how we behave? And yes, sometimes I end up doing things that people would think are a bit off the wall, but looked at from a Christian faith perspective, actually they do make sense. After all, what else would give us the idea to meet on our driveway, number 44 Lindbergh Road, for coffee, tea, hot chocolate, cakes, and a chat? Come rain, snow, sun, whatever the weather, every Sunday, 2 o'clock, 44 Lindbergh Road. Come and join us. Everyone is always welcome. God bless you. I do hope you have a great week, and I'll see you next time.